Let's take a look at wedging. Wedging is super important and useful when you're creating multiple assets with different variations, and it pairs up perfectly with Axiom because you're going to be able to get variations very fast. And cannon fire is a perfect example for that because a ship usually has more than one cannon in most cases. So let's take a look at how wedging would work. Labs, file, cache. You hook up labs, file cache here, turn on wedging. Here we go. Also here, I'm just previewing all the wedges. If you go here, you say wedges to merge all wedges. It's gonna do all of the wedges for you. So this is the file, labs file cache. You need to do a hack. So under scheduling, we need this one batch at a time. In order to get that, we need to turn off simulation, one batch at a time, and put the simulation back on. The reason for that is, if you don't use the one batch at a time, PDG will open in the background. Let's say we're doing 5 wedges. So this will actually open 5 different Houdini sessions, and it's gonna simulate all of them at the same time. We don't want that because that's just gonna kill your VRAM. What we do want to do is simulate one at a time. So that is what one batch at a time will do for us. All right, so wedges here, you just number of wedges of attributes, you create different attributes. You can call this one randomize turbulence. You can create another one called the same for disturbance or pressure, rand, you know, whatever you want. The naming convention here doesn't matter. And then here you can choose if you want random samples, if you want custom ranges, or the all the other options that you can experiment with. Usually I just use custom or random. So once you have that, let me show you how this works here on this example. I created 3 attributes called move, offset turbulence, and length. Actually, this should be called pressure length. All right, so the length or the move has a max value of 100. So it's gonna step for each. If we're doing 5 wedges, it's gonna do 20 units on the x-axis. So that's how you call this. You say move, and then you call it with at move. And that will, when it's doing the wedging, it's gonna offset it by 20 units for each one. So that's how you create a little, that's how you organize your wedges if you wanna see them all at the same time like this. The second one, well, let me go through the pressure first. So you have pressure length, and because I changed the name, I need to go back to the simulation. And this is what I was doing with pressure here. Pressure, the reason why I called it length, because it's going to change the length of our simulation. Hey, it's me. Sorry for interrupting, but it would mean a lot to us just now if you would leave a comment or like the video. Just helps with the algorithm. You can type anything. You can type Axiom, what's your name, what city you're from. It will help people find this workshop. And if you're truly getting value from this video, consider subscribing. Our simulation will be longer if we have more pressure. So this is with pressure set to 5. But if we set this to 10, so we are reaching up to 50 meters here, and setting it to 10 is going to extend that by quite a lot. So that's why I called it length. So let's put this back to 5. And because I changed the name here to pressure length now, I will change it here at pressure length. So that's going to work just fine. The same goes for offset turbulence. You just copy that name. And then here you say at offset turbulence, and that will offset our turbulence at wedge time. I'm not going to do it because I was getting good results with these turbulences. But you can definitely do it and test out a lot of different, you can do a lot of different wedges for different attributes. so you can see what works, what doesn't work, and so on. So let's see. So we get something like this, and once you start wedging, you go here and say save in background, and you will see your simulations are gonna start wedging here. It's still up, it's opening up Houdini in the background, and now it's doing the first simulation. So this would be a good time to get that coffee break, because I know now because Axiom is too fast, all the coffee breaks are going to be ruined. So this is a good excuse to do one. Once your PDG cache is done, you get all of the caches here. And what I did here, I just did I picked each and every one. If you go here, you will see you get wedging 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Press the first one, and that's our first wedge done. And then the second one and third one. I did a time shift just so when they spawn in a sequence like this. So that's pretty much on wedging and how I would use it. But obviously you could just use the old school way of copying this a few times and then caching it. It would be also quite valid. Actually, I use this way more often than wedging, but maybe I'm just too old school.